Video game acting, childhood dreams, and some of the best celebrity impressions you'll ever hear. Look forward to all that and more as we chat with the Alters and Dragon Age The Veilguard star Alex Jordan in today's episode of the PlayStation Access podcast. Hello and welcome to the PlayStation Access podcast, the official podcast of PlayStation UK. I am your host, Rob Pearson. We are joined today by Rosie Caddick.
Hello, everyone.
And a very special guest, an actor whose decade-long video game career includes credits in the likes of Telltale's Game of Thrones, Stellaris, Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom Liberty, and who most recently played Rook in Dragon Age The Veilguard, the Ice King in Split Fiction, and Jan Dolsky in the uniquely brilliant sci-fi survival game The Alters. It's Alex Jordan, everybody!
Hello!
Applause
Yay!
from the audience. Alex, it's a real pleasure to welcome you to the PlayStation Access podcast. How have you been?
I have been very good, and I am very excited to be here.
We are very excited to have you here. I wanted to ask you first about this new wave of what I like to call video game A-listers. Like this wave of actors that seems to be emerging at the moment who engage with video game communities and fandoms on a level that I don't think we've seen before.
Yep.
And I just wanted to get your take on that. How has that been for you?
Honestly, I'm loving it, right? Because my very first game was Telltale's Game of Thrones. And I made an account on Twitch, and I tried to set up to be able to stream myself playing the game back in 2015.
Yeah.
But was unable to because of like resources and also my living setup and everything like that. So I've been on this train for like at the moment my career began in video games. I've been there going, actors can serve a purpose outside of their time in the booth to help engage with the communities, with the fans of the games, and help, promote and publicize the games and spread it and spread the love of doing the work. So I've been doing this since 2015. And to see in more recent years, studios now start to really see the value of actors outside their time in the booth and how they might be able to engage with the community is awesome. I mean, it really came out of lockdown, I think.
Yeah.
A lot of actors who had time. I mean, I set up a streaming studio in a walk-in wardrobe. Now, to say we had a walk-in wardrobe sounds like we had an abundance of space. I lived in
such a big house.
I lived in a 500 square foot flat. That's about 50 square meters or so. Tiny, one bed, like no space at all. And I just converted like the bottom third, tiny space about this wide. And I just sat like this and I streamed in that cupboard for 3 years, playing games that I was in. I love it. I love this way in which people are now connecting with actors in games and how we're getting to see our roles within the industry evolve. Because traditional media has been utilizing actors in really fun and cool ways for a long time. And there's just been this kind of hesitance around doing it in video games. I think a lot of the time there is fear that actors might say too much. They might give something away. They might say something before they're supposed to. But I think part of the problem is that studios would then go, okay, to avoid that, we're going to keep all the actors at arm's reach. We've been under NDAs where a lot of the time we don't even know the project we're working on. We don't know any of the other lines. We don't know the other characters. We don't know the other actors, stuff like that, right? So we've basically been held at arm's reach. I think that then creates more problems. But if you go, right, let's bring the actors in and let's utilize them and give them a clear set of guidelines as to what they can say, when they can say it, and how they can say it, the actors know what they're doing. They feel comfortable. The studios feel comfortable, and everyone benefits.
Yeah.
It's a really cool time.
Do you think there's part of the reason that it is coming to the fore a little bit more now is because, well, like yourself, and we speak to Ben Starr and Jennifer English and various actors on the pod before, where you're so clearly personally enjoying the game you are in, that I guess by it just naturally creates that affinity with not just the game, but also that fandom as well.
100%.
Do you think we're seeing more of that now?
100%. I mean, Ben is the perfect example, right? You have someone for whom Final Fantasy is their definitive series. It is their definitive game. So it's just that perfect balance, that perfect meeting point of an actor who can engage with the community in a way that is totally authentic, totally genuine. I think inauthenticity can be smelled a mile off when an actor is trying to interact with the community because they're going, well, how can it benefit me? That doesn't fly, right? When you have people who engage with communities and they're very open and honest and going, hey guys, Wuthering Waves is a game that I voice act in. And I think when I went into it, I was like, it's really super important to essentially say to the community, hey, you guys are hugely passionate. I've never played a gacha game before. Teach me. Show me what this is. I know the character, I know the world, but I don't know this side of gaming.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to go in. And then if you do that, the fan base are like super happy that you're there and genuinely wanting to learn and to understand it, rather than coming in and trying to bluff that you don't, that you know this side of the gaming world, which you don't. So I think it's really, really cool now when we see actors come through particularly like on new IPs.
Yeah.
They're introducing it to the world, so they get to go, I'm here right now, Expedition 33. That cast get to go, we know everything about this and we can come forward and we can be passionate about it. I think the Ben Starr situation with Final Fantasy is just one of those moments where you go, will this ever happen again? Someone who knows so much, is so knowledgeable, and is so passionate, landing the role. Do you know what I mean?
It's lightning in a bottle stuff.
It's lightning in a bottle. I'm not going to lie. I've got something coming up where I'm similarly like, I know this world.
I was going to say, I wanted to ask
feel
you.
it inside out.
I was going to ask you about this later, but how difficult is it when you've got a role that is so exciting, and for whatever reason, with video games, they have these dev cycles where for 2, 3, 4, maybe longer years, you're not allowed to say anything about it. It must be unbelievably difficult.
Oh my God, it is. You get good at it because it is part of your job. Do you know what I mean? I now see it as the time in the booth doing the work is the fun stuff. Like, that's not the work. That's like doing, the actual work is the auditions and the no's, and then when you do get something, it's keeping the silence and all that. That's the work. That's the job. It is tough. You learn to have your confidants, like my wife. I talk to my wife about all the stuff in German. It's my wife, she ends up getting a lot of the brunt of my excitement and stuff, where I'm just like, and this, and this, and this, and this, and isn't this cool? And she's there as someone who doesn't game and has never gamed, going, oh, that's so cool.
I'm so happy
and
for
I'm there
you.
going, I can smell your inauthenticity. I can smell.
It's kind of a shame though, isn't it? Because I guess you have to bottle that excitement and enthusiasm for when it finally does get announced and revealed, and we're getting like a delayed excitement and enthusiasm for these things.
And then I guess one of the hardest things actually is when you have that excitement and enthusiasm and then something comes out and for whatever reason it doesn't quite land. And then you're there going, oh, all that excitement that I had for this moment.
Yeah.
You have to really learn to kind of try and detach yourself from it, and just have no expectations. And then when the game comes out, go in totally with your shield up, with the wall up. And then if it does well and people like it, then partake in the enjoyment. Because if you go in going, okay, here we go, and then it flops, it hurts. And it hurts bad. I was chatting with a fellow actor who was in... I did a game called the Gollum game. Which was critically
Not well received.
And I had an actor who was also in it, who I was sending. You have to kind of get involved in the sort of the memery of it all, right? Otherwise, it will hurt.
Yeah.
It will sting. And I didn't realize how big a fan he was of Tolkien's universe and how much this moment meant to him. And so I was sending some memes, and then I think after a bit I realized, oh, okay, I'm actually doing damage here. And I had to like step back and go, I'm so sorry. And it was that moment, that classic moment with Family Guy moment with Peter Griffin, where he's in the airplane, and they're like, they got all the skydiving stuff on, and he's like, first time? And they're like, yeah, you? And he goes, no, not my first time. That's what that moment felt like. You get so used to things that you put a lot of time and effort and love into, and then if they don't quite land, you just get so used to kind of being resilient and hardened to it, I think.
I guess if there is a positive to be taken out of that, it is that actors are able now with video games, and I think more so than in the past, to be able to be invested in the roles they're playing and the games they're in. I wanted to go back to the whole, you talked about inauthenticity there. And would you say it's fair to say, you spoke about traditional media as well, so film, they would use actors in promotion for films.
Yep.
But when you're a film actor or a screen actor, I guess it must be a little bit easier to know about the thing you're in. You've been able to be there with your fellow cast members through the entire filming process. Video games haven't had that for as long. And even today, not all video games, I mean, I'm presuming here, like, you're not always going to be on a performance capture stage, right? You're not always sharing scenes with fellow actors whilst you're there. Like, to know what you're in as a video game actor, I guess it's a more challenging thing, I would think, than being a screen actor, right?
100%. I mean, straight off the bat, performance capture is still it's like, I wouldn't say it's like infancy, because I mean, it has been around for a while.
Yeah.
It's 100% in the minority in terms of like, the number of jobs that you do. I've done over 100 games now, and I can count the number of times I've done performance capture on two hands. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not often, because it requires a level of budget.
Exactly, that's the thing, right? Because it doesn't matter.
Companies have.
Sorry to interrupt, but you'll get like a blockbuster movie, and you'll get like an indie movie whose budgets can vary wildly by the chasm can be hundreds of millions of pounds. But the core thing of actors being in a place and filming together in a film, it's always there.
Yeah.
And like you've just illustrated there, like you can do 100 games and only 5 to 10 of them can be actually physically inhabiting a space with other actors.
Absolutely. And it creates a weird thing where you often don't know who your castmates are until the game releases.
Oh, really?
Right. So then you're going, oh my God, you're in this game. Oh, you're in this game. We have a WhatsApp group that recently started for Wuthering Waves for the cast, where people and every day new people are being brought in. And I'm going, I didn't know you were in this game. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. And then every now and then you get to work with a studio who are very transparent about everything, and they just go, hey, 11-bit studios with the alters. They went, here is the entire game Bible. Here is absolutely everything. And we worked on the game for about two and a half years. And about 6 months in, they were like, you can say that you're Jan Dolsky in this game, by the way. And I was like, I wait, what? And they're like, yep, just talk about it. Just talk about the game. Talk about, when you're out there, just tell people.
Which makes sense. It's just more promo, isn't it? At the end of the day.
100%. And it was such a unique and cool thing to have a studio go, hey, yeah, we know that you're a professional that does this as your job. We know that you're not just going to go out and start blurting spoilers out, and you're not just going to start talking about mechanics that we haven't released and revealed yet. So just feel free to say that you're in it. And that was really, really cool. It felt like, studios don't treat us like children, but it felt nice to be treated like an adult. There you go. That's what I would say. Yeah.
For sure. Well, that's really interesting to hear. I think, clearly you're someone who enjoys video games, and I sort of want to go back to sort of like your own personal history with the medium. Were video games always a big thing for you growing up?
Yes. So it was basically, I had PC which could run some games to an okay level. I remember so clearly going to the store in town and basically buying a physical copy of something, taking it back, putting it in and going, your PC can't run this, and going, right, and taking it back and doing that for multiple games.
Just play whichever one runs on it. You don't know what you're playing. You're just like, honestly, it runs perfect. We're playing it.
Exactly. It was so disheartening. And then my next door neighbor, when the PlayStation 2 came out, my next door neighbor, who was at the time a man in his 30s, basically went, "Do you want a PlayStation 1 and the games? And I'll just give it to you." And I was like, "Yeah."
Best
and
neighbor
as someone,
ever.
Wow.
as someone who had grown up going, I've got my select few games that I can play on my PC, but I used to go round to other friends' houses and play on like their PlayStation, their Sega Mega Drive. Do you know what I mean? Like stuff like that, like Sega Saturn. I used to go around to other people's to play console stuff.
Yes.
So suddenly to have a PlayStation, and admittedly I was playing older generation games, and I felt like I was playing catch up with everyone. You know, I'm suddenly there playing Metal Gear Solid and going, "This is amazing," and they go, "This gas mask guy is creepy." As a kid,
Yeah.
it was great. And I then, as a thank you to him, I think I must have been around 12 or 13 at this time. When did the PlayStation 2 come out?
2000.
2000.
Yeah.
So I think he probably got it like a year or two later. I must have been about 11 or 12 then. And went and dropped a little letter around at his, which invited him to ours for a dinner. And my mum helped me cook a dinner for him to say thank you.
Oh my gosh, do you remember what the dinner was?
I don't remember what the dinner was. I actually want to go and ask my parents now after this. I'm going to see if they remember.
Do you remember the PlayStation 2 dinner we made?
Yeah. Or see if Farid, see if he remembers. But yeah, but also not only was that my intro into like console stuff, but I think to this day established in my mind that from the very get-go, games were a thing for all generations.
Yeah.
Because I was going, here is in my eyes, someone who's like, he was in his 30s, someone who is in his 60s. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I'm
when
there
you're a
going like,
kid.
you're a full-on adult who is like, gaming's for everyone. And so that was a really cool intro, I think, into sort of like, and then I played a lot of the Jedi Power Battles on there, which I believe, has the remaster come out? I think that, have I missed the remaster or is it coming out?
I believe it has come out,
It has come
yes.
out. Well, I need to get on that then. I need to get on that. Yeah, it was great. And then I went out and bought myself a secondhand PlayStation 2. Gaming has just always been part of my life.
Yeah. Has your work now in video games altered your perception of the medium at all? Has it affected your enjoyment of games at all? Or are you still able to, when you get home, disconnect and just enjoy games as someone who likes playing games?
I'm still able to absolutely disconnect. What I would say is that I obviously now have, when I listen to performances in games, I'm thinking about, okay, well, technically what happened in this moment in the booth and how are they doing this and X, Y, Z, and do I think that performance is good? Do I think that performance is bad? And I'm just, even if I don't want to consciously and actively do that, I am doing that anyway. Just can't help it. What I would say is, on the other side of it, my love of gaming and my consistent gaming experience throughout my life has benefited my career, and that when I go in and work on something, I've often found that when I'm talking to the devs or the director and they're talking about a certain moment and what needs to happen, I'm going, right, because in this moment, mechanically, this is happening and it's this. And they go, yes. So there's a benefit from being a gamer who works in games on the acting side because the directors can talk to you in a shorthand and it speeds the whole process up.
Yeah.
And it just makes it easier. And they can use verbiage, they can use vernacular that if you're not a gamer, you're there going, what does that mean? But the transfer of information is so much smoother and so much easier that I would say I have definitely found to be extremely beneficial.
This is an interesting thing, right? Because we were speaking to Samantha Bayard about something similar, just in terms of actors in video games, and you'll have actors who, and this is where it's different to film, right? Because no actor has never seen a film, even if they're not like massively into it. But it's definitely plausible that some actors have never played games or don't have that much of an experience with video games. Are we seeing now, or do you think we are seeing now, video games becoming a medium that actors, whilst they're training or going through acting school, are taking more seriously and are learning about more than they would have done in the past?
1,000,000%. My drama school that I graduated from, I went back recently because I was made a fellow, and I went back and the principal took me into this new space that they've got, which is a full digital media suite with performance capture, motion capture, right? It's now something they're trying to actually bring into the curriculum, and even more than that, potentially look at creating a course for actors who want to go into specifically this. So rather than doing a three-year BA Honours acting in stage and screen with some video game stuff in there, you could go and do a 6 to 12 month course just in performance capture and motion capture, which is really, really cool, which is something I'm trying to help spearhead. He and I are constantly texting because I'm like, I want to create, I never had this and I would have loved to have had this. And I want to create this for other actors who are coming through. And I want to go in and see if I can help create a generation of actors that are coming through that school who are perfectly equipped to go out and just do this.
Yeah.
Because it's an overwhelming and daunting thing when you go in to do performance and motion capture for the first time, because there's so much technically that's going on. With the dots all over your body, understanding where they are, what's going on, understanding how to act with the H cam, with the head cam, you know, and how you need to turn. And if you move your shoulder up too high, then you're starting to infringe on that sort of camera and all these things. And then within that, sort of the T-posing before and after scenes, and how you stay in the scene while you then have to T-pose, and then you watch it back, and then you T-pose and you go back into it. All those things are very daunting and overwhelming when you first get in there. And you don't want to be seen to be asking questions and not look like you don't, you know, you're kind of learning on the job, but you don't want to look unprofessional. Like you're going, I've never done this before. So I'm very keen to try and help my old drama school, Rose Bruford, try and create this thing where actors can go there, they can get all this stuff done and out of the way. And when they actually come to their first job, they're ready to just walk in and they don't have all that anxiety. I think it's really cool.
That would also be great for, let's say you've got students who want to be game developers as well.
Yep.
Because then this gives them also another field that they can work in to advance in this new form of acting within video games.
100%. And I'm also trying to speak with a couple of studios to see if they can link up with that drama school in a way that they can then take indie developers to go and work there. Indie developers who normally wouldn't have access to performance and motion capture because of the budget. You go, cool, go to Rose Bruford. We'll take you in there. You'll be able to do some performance and motion capture, and your budget will be tiny, but you'll be working with students. And if they go, that's great, that's fine, it gives people who normally, you know, studios who normally wouldn't have access to that, and it gives experience to young actors who want to go into that. That's why I'm really passionate about trying to make this thing happen.
It sounds like, 20, 30 years' time, this sort of barrier to entry will just be not something that actors have to think about. It will just be, hopefully, we'll reach a place where it is just...
Fingers crossed.
An actor coming through training will have experience of stage, screen, video games. And all three mediums can be taken as seriously as each other.
I would love that.
More things on the CV, more experience.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask as well, because I never thought about this. When you were talking about motion capture and you were saying like, oh, your shoulder can't go too high up. What are like the big no-nos of motion capture?
First of all, liquid in the space. Don't do that.
Okay.
Second of all, when they are setting the space and they're sort of like essentially calibrating everything, steer as far clear from it as possible, because anything that is shiny and reflective will bounce back the light and it will screw up the calibration. And then, it's moving. If you're soft locking, that's a different thing. You can just take the body movement, then you can take the head cam stuff and put them together. But if you're doing it together, a big one is just nothing crossing the face cam, I would say. And then it's also, honestly, talking over each other sometimes is fine. But a lot of the time, if you are talking, you can be picked up on someone else's mic, and then it creates a blurry audio, and sometimes they need to go back in and redo it, which seems weird because you think if you're in the scene, it'll be easy to be able to like talk over one another, but it's specific circumstances in which that's okay. And in other moments, you're just like, you have to let the other person's line cleanly finish and then come in with your line.
Yeah.
Which in traditional acting a lot of the time is not the case. You're allowed to just talk over each other, and they're just capturing it all, and they've got someone with a boom mic and who's getting the audio as well as your lav mic, and so I'd say those are like the key sort of like things to keep an eye out on, and the no-nos and the yeses.
And the yes. So if you've got like in a game you've got two characters that are arguing, and when you're arguing, things get a bit heated and you try and like cut over each other, don't you? Because you have to say your point. So when you're doing the motion capture, because you'd presume that you're just acting the scene, you got the motions and stuff like that. But do you actually you say like your part of the argument, and then you have to have that little pause, then the other actor will say their part, and then does it in post-edit like come together that then they cross it over, but you still have to act with the movements, if you know what I'm saying?
I think like from a technical standpoint, ideally, you leave that little pause. From a performance standpoint, you don't.
Yeah.
Because you get a more natural performance. You can go back in and you can ADR it, which is basically going back in and recording the lines over what you've done because the audio wasn't usable in those moments. You can do that. I had a game that I've been working on, which is still in the works, but they gave me the lines the night before we did it, and it was 3 A4 page monologues. So I did these scenes, right? And they flew me to, I won't say where because I can't give anything away. Like, they flew me to another country because they were like, yeah, we're using this huge stage because we've used it before and you can do stunts and stuff in there. And I'm there going, my scene's going to have stunts? Okay, cool. None of my scenes had stunts. My scenes were either sat at a desk or lying down on the ground with like a gun, okay? The stage was so big and I was using against so many reflective surfaces, none of the audio was usable.
Oh, no.
So we had to go back in the studio anyway, and I had to lip sync everything to the exact lip movements and timings. And we're talking, it has to be exact, like the millimeter. Otherwise, it looks weird.
Yeah.
So I had to go back in and we had to ADR all of it.
Oh.
And it was, I'm not going to lie, it was tough. Because as well, then you get so focused on the milliseconds that you're not thinking about the performance.
Yeah.
You're just thinking about the timing. So anytime you can avoid having to go in and do ADR, I think is if you can give that beat, they can essentially like take the two models. You could even have like a moment where you just boom, pause, and then another bit, and they could literally take those two files and basically layer them over.
Yeah.
And it could work. You know, you could have the characters interrupting one another while the two lines are delivered independently.
Sounds very difficult.
Yeah,
All
honestly,
the kind
this
of
stuff
things you just
fascinates
wouldn't
me.
think about, right?
I love it. I'm so fascinated by all of this. That's why whenever we've had an actor on the podcast, I'm like, tell me more. Like, I find it so cool and interesting.
Man, the challenges of bringing a video game character to life. There's so much that, as someone who doesn't make games, you would just not think of or know about.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing. I want to take you back, Alex, to the very beginning. You mentioned that your first video game role was Telltale's Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Asher Forrester, I believe you played.
Asher Forrester, that's right.
How did you get your first role in video games?
So this audition experience was kind of wild. I was sent an audition by my agent to play Tyrion Lannister.
Wow.
And I had to do a full Lady Sansa, sort of. And that's the other thing. They came back and they're like, no, her name is Sansa. And I was going, yes, but Peter Dinklage says Sansa, So I was arguing with them. They were like, oh, okay. Anyway, sent it off, went in, did a recall, and they were like, great, this is really, really good. And I was thinking, oh my God, this is so cool. This is peak Game of Thrones time. And am I about to play Tyrion Lannister in a video game? That's kind of cool. And then I found out that I didn't get it because Peter Dinklage got the role. And I went, that's very
Peter
fair.
Dinklage.
That's
but then
very
if
fair.
you're going to miss out on the role of Tyrion to anyone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then they were like, but we would like you to come in and audition for this other character, for Asher Forrester. And I was going, I don't know that. And they were like, it's a new character. It's based on one line in one of the books where they refer to the Forrester family. So I don't know which book it is. They just say, House Forrester that makes, ironwood. And they basically worked with George R.R. Martin to come up with this family and these characters. And I sent off my tape. They liked it. And then I went in and I remember, I'm sort of quite fresh out of drama school. It's like 2013, 14, things end of 2013. And I go in. And just as I'm heading en route to my recall in person, I find out that one of my best friends, who was a maid of honor at our wedding years later, had just been run over by a rubbish truck. And so I had a call from my wife that said, I've got a weird feeling about our friend. I've just tried calling her. I can't get through to her. I've just tried calling her then boyfriend, now husband. I can't get through to him. And I've just got a weird feeling. And then a couple hours later, she was like, I got a call back. Literally as I was going back in, it was like, that was her bike on the Old Kent Road. That was her. And it was such a weird thing where you just go like that connection, like what happened in that moment that my wife saw an ambulance and a bike and just had an instinctive feeling about our friend. Like that's crazy. So I went in and I was just a wreck. And I just had to basically go in and just go, okay, steel yourself. And I went in, I just kind of had to do the whole like, hey guys, blah, blah. And then like there was a moment in a scene, and I was like, okay, and I kind of just went, can I just take a moment? And they asked, and they were like, you're right. And I was like, I'm gonna be totally honest with you. Just found out my friend has been run over by a railroad truck and is in intensive care. So sorry. And they were like, no, all cool. Take a moment. They let me take a moment in the audition. And then I cracked back on and we finished it. And I left and I was on like 10% battery. And I went and found a pub nearby. And I asked to use their charger. And I plugged in and I sat and I just cried in a pub around the corner. And just basically was calling my wife, and then eventually found out the hospital that she was in. And I went that evening, and like her entire bottom half was just crushed, and she now has like rods all through her, lower half and stuff. That was my audition experience so when I think about Game of Thrones and Telltale, I think about all the awesome time in the booth. But every time I think about that game, that's my immediate thought and feeling.
I'm so sorry
which
that
is really
happened.
weird. Hey, I mean, she walked down. She walked down the aisle. My wife walked down the aisle as her maid of honor, and she walked down the aisle at our maid of honor years later. But it's such a weird feeling, right? Because like I have so many cool fond memories of that game, and yet I cannot help whenever I think about that game, I just immediately think about the audition experience. It's really weird. It's really weird.
What a day for you that must have been.
Yeah, and then I got the job. We had a great time working on it. We had amazing people, Nicole and Megan and Ryan, who were like on the writing team at Telltale, and then Arthur, Arthur was over a lot, and Arthur and Will, who were doing performance direction, were over from San Francisco, and I had a great time with them. And when they were over, I would take them out in London and take them out to different pubs and bars and show them around London. And then I was doing a play at the National, and then that came out, and then I went and took them to the bar at the all this stuff. Like it was such a cool, crazy, like 2 years out of drama school, and I'm at the National, and I'm in the Game of Thrones game, and I'm having the most amazing time. So that whole period felt like a really special like time in my life.
Absolutely. I mean, what an IP to get your first role in as well.
Yeah.
Especially, we're talking like 2014, 2015 here, where
it
as you
was
mentioned,
Christmas
Game
2014.
of Thrones is like massive.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And in fact, I just started playing on the way here, Dispatch, which is really, really cool to see that sort of Telltale episodic format being brought back, and
Yes, we
with
need
so
to talk
many of the
about
Telltale
episode
devs. Episode 1 and
We
1
need to
only,
talk-
because you are
Because
on
I'm going to do episode 2, like hopefully this evening, maybe if I could squeeze it in.
I am
but
on episode 2 now on the way here. Yeah.
I also wanted to talk to you about, before that, your sort of start, your emergence on YouTube, because I don't know how many people know about this. So before you got your first acting role, you uploaded videos of yourself doing impressions on YouTube.
Yes.
What can you tell us about that?
2005, 2006, I start uploading impressions, and it starts with Jack Sparrow. And I basically was just like, I realized as a kid that I could do impressions of different celebrities. And my dad...
Was it always something that you'd wanted to do, being an actor, or was this just like
always. I was in the youth theatre. I was very lucky with where I grew up, right? I grew up, this was purely by circumstance of location rather than any material privilege, right? It was a geographical privilege that I happened to grow up about 100 meters from Chichester Festival Theatre, which is one of arguably the most, I wouldn't say necessarily successful, but maybe like one of the most influential regional theatres in the UK for a long time. I grew up going, that's Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart and Maggie Smith. Do you know what I mean? Like incredible people who would just be there all the time.
Wow.
And I was in the youth theatre. So as a result of that, I was engaging with all these amazing people. And I was just going, this is what I want to do. You know, we would do Christmas shows there where the budgets for the set were like 50 grand for a kid's show that would be the Christmas show. And they treated us as if we were professionals, right? They came in. We had the full theatre staff who would do the shows, who would do the lighting, the set decoration, the costume design, everything, were industry professionals. And they came to us, and the Dale Rooks, who's created this incredible youth theatre down there, basically went into it going, nope, you are here, you are in this theatre, I'm going to treat you guys like you're professionals, to children. But it established, when I went to drama school, I realised the privilege that I had, because I obviously was there going, this is what it's like to do theatre stuff. And then my wife was like going, we used to do like village hall stuff where we would get like costumes from home and put it together, and I'm there going, I've got an amazing costume designer who designed this thing specifically for me.
They fitted my suit around me, like.
And it wasn't even that expensive, because what they did was they did the Christmas shows and they packed out Christmas with full audiences of 1,200 people. That's what I was as a kid. I was like going, yeah, I'd get up on stage in front of 1,200 people and do, the grasshopper in James and the Giant Peach.
Great role.
Great role. Love that role. And they would just basically reinvest the money made from that, because they had an entire cast that they weren't paying, that were paying subs to be in the show. So we got this incredible opportunity, but it was amazing because anyone from any financial background, like you had people from extremely wealthy backgrounds and extreme like poverty, all in this space. And when you got there, it was just like, yeah, we're all just here to do some acting and create something. And that was really, really cool. So that was my first, and it was while I was in the youth theatre I realized I could do impressions, and I started to entertain people backstage before we were going on stage, and I'd just be doing impressions. And then Pirates of the Caribbean: The Curse of the Black Pearl came out, the most perfect film ever made. Don't argue with me on that.
Brilliant film.
It is a genuinely perfect film. And I started to realize that I could do Captain Jack, and I'd be wandering around backstage doing the full Captain Jack, because I was. That time I was doing.
That's very good. That's
we were doing
very
Peter
good.
Pan, and I was Smee, and I was in a full pirate costume. So I was wandering around doing this, and I just uploaded it onto YouTube. People liked it, so I uploaded another one, and then I started to realize I can do this. Like, so I built up a following, and in around 2008 or 9, I think it was, I had built up around 50,000 subs on YouTube, which in like 2008 was like. It's a good amount,
I mean, that's still a good amount now.
Yeah.
And an actor called Terry Minot, who is an incredible impressionist, amazing man, sent me an email and said, hey, I might be shooting myself in the foot here because I think you're going to take work away from me, but I think you're really good, and I'm a sucker for young talent. I'd love to put you in conversation with my agent. And I was just like, oh, okay, amazing. I went and met that agent in Soho, on the corner of Broadwick Street and Beak Street, like sort of where Beak Street, I think it's Beak Street, Broad Street, and then you got Wardour and it goes across. Yeah. And I went in and they basically offered me representation there and then. And I just kind of went, yeah, okay, cool. And it just sort of began from there. And I did my first couple of bits of voice acting before I went to drama school. And then while I was at drama school, it was a very different time at drama school, and my teachers, basically one of my teachers in particular, said to me, you got to stop doing the impressions. Genuinely, she was like, you got to stop doing the impressions and you got to stop uploading to YouTube, because it's not what an actor does.
Wow.
Now,
Nonsense.
If you had any actor going to drama school right now with a following of 50,000 people, the agent, the teachers would be going, cultivate that, use that, keep doing that, because that is a route into the industry now. So I was made to feel as though I needed to stop doing the impressions. I need to cut it all out. So I did. But obviously the Tyrion Lannister thing, that was my route in, was impressions.
Nice.
It gave me, my agent went, this guy's good at impressions. They gave me this opportunity. So if it weren't for impressions, if it weren't for YouTube, and then that leading to my agent, and then that leading to Tyrion Lannister, I would not have all the opportunities I've had now, and I would not have the career I've had now.
That is an amazing story.
Yeah, honestly,
I
I'm
love
here.
that.
Like, well, after you said, like, oh, the teacher said don't do impressions, I'm like, you tell
I
them,
know,
Alex.
yeah.
Nonsense.
So this is the bit, Rosie, that I didn't want to tell you about. Because
Right.
now we've heard about Alex Jordan's amazing impressions.
Oh.
We're going to play a little game.
Oh, brother, what are we getting involved in?
So I've got here...
Alex is getting ready. He's like, right,
I've got
okay.
here a selection of famous lines of video game dialogue
Okay.
that Alex is going to perform as various different either characters or actors Rosie, it's your job. You've got to guess what game the line is from, but also guess who Alex is doing an impression of at the same time.
Okay, so the impression's going to sound like the character.
Yes.
It's okay.
So it's famous video game lines as read by
The characters.
other famous characters or actors.
Oh, God, I'm nervous now.
Come on, Rosie. This is going to be the best bit.
There's some here that I really have to dust off because I have not done them in a while.
Okay, no, I'm not looking at the list. I'll look away.
We both said a lot of things that you're going to regret. But I think we could put our differences behind us. For science, you monster.
That's so good.
Is that Stewie Griffin from Family
Yes.
Guy?
That is flawless. That's
Literally, I got
flawless.
that immediately, but I was like, I'm not going to interrupt this.
Oh God! And what is the game?
Oh my God, there's.
But I think we could put our differences behind us. For science, you monster.
Oh my God, right, okay, so that's.
You know this, Rosie.
Because I was so focused on Stewie Griffin, and I recognised the line, so then my brain was like, is this a line in Family Guy? So now, now I know how this is fully working. So.
Oh, we both said a lot of
GLaDOS in Portal!
Yes, well
GLaDOS.
done, Rosie. 2
Yes.
points on the first one.
Okay, now this one is going to be. I have not done this one in a long time.
Okay.
War never changes. That's slightly off. Forgive me, audience. Forgive me, listener. It has been a long time since I've
It's
done
a
this
short line, to be fair, so that is a challenge.
And war never changes. It's not quite right, but it's.
I mean, that's Snake, isn't it? Or Big Boss?
No.
No.
Oh, we're talking about the game or the
Game.
character?
Game.
It's not.
Oh, no.
Although Snake does say something very similar at the start of Metal Gear Solid 4.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah, because he's like, war.
War never changes. And war. Well, I'm putting the and there. War never.
Sorry, can you say war?
War.
This is difficult. If it was a longer
is
line,
difficult.
you'd be getting this, Rosie, in terms of the impression.
Cool.
For sure.
Well, I've already guessed the game and I got that wrong, so I'll stay true to my guess there. I got that wrong. In terms of the voice,
War never changes.
is it Morgan Freeman?
There we go.
Yes, Rosie.
Okay, still
Nice.
possible.
Weirdly, it was that last war that got it. I was like, oh my God, there
You
it is.
did.
It takes a moment to settle.
That was
sometimes, you know.
tough.
What
that
was the
one.
game?
It was Fallout 3.
I haven't played Fallout 3 yet.
Okay.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favourite store on the Citadel. I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favourite store on the Citadel.
Well, that's Mass Effect. Do I have to say specific Mass Effect, or is just Mass Effect itself?
Yeah, I'll take the specific Mass Effect if you've got it.
In terms of the voice,
So good. That is so good. That's brilliant.
the voice, I'm not sure.
I've got to say, this is probably one of my favourite ones to do. I don't know what it is, it just feels so nice.
That is perfect. That's perfect. It might just be that you haven't seen
I
this
don't think I've seen it.
actor a lot, Rosie. I don't know if he's a you
Okay.
actor.
Okay.
A
Can
me
I
actor?
give a line from the actor in a
Oh,
film?
please do.
It's an illegal boxing match, Tommy. Not a tickling competition. These lads are out to really hurt each other.
Is it going to be something from like Goodfellas or The Godfather?
No.
or-
No.
Okay.
Similar genre.
But more British.
but more British.
5 minutes? You said it'd be 5 minutes 10 minutes ago.
No, literally, when you said boxing, I was just like Rocky, but that's not it at all. No, I'm
My
gonna.
name's Chev Chelios, and today is the day I die.
It's got, what I love about Impressionist is how your face morphs into the person as well.
And when you did Jack Sparrow
fascinating.
earlier, your hands were
It's-
there
it's
as
like
well.
sort of everything changes.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Do you want to say?
It's Jason Statham, Rosie.
The name rings a bell. What have they done?
Oh, Rosie doesn't know Jason Statham.
Hang on,
He's
I know
like-
the name. I
he's
know
like
the name.
Really
Get the phone. Get the phone.
Oh.
handsome, bald, Cockney, tough guy. He's like the British action hero.
What's he been in?
He's been in The Meg.
The
Yeah.
Meg. I haven't seen the Meg. Is that the one with the shark?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the one with the shark. I
He's
haven't
been
seen-
in a lot. He's been,
Oh, that guy!
This guy,
Action
Jason Statham.
Man.
The very, very, I mean, he knows what he is and he does it well.
yes. I think he's amazing. I think that it might be the best Jason Statham impression I've ever
Hell
heard.
yes.
Very,
Hell yes.
very impressive.
Okay.
Okay.
Love it.
We've got 3 more.
Okay.
I used to be an adventurer like you.
Then I took an arrow to the knee.
Game is Skyrim.
Yes.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow to the knee.
I recognise this voice. I recognise this one.
I used to be an adventurer
Oh,
like
is
you.
it Serene McKellen?
Yes.
I took an arrow to the knee.
That is fantastic. Oh, two of my favourite fantasy things combined there.
Did you just have a little moment,
into
Rob?
one. I did actually. Yeah. When you did the "You Shall Not Pass" level.
Yep.
Syrian McKellen. Oh,
I have a video that is privated that I will bring back one day. I convinced Ian McKellen to do a video with me. So basically, I've got this video where he was doing a play called. I can't remember what it's called now. At Chichester Festival Theatre, and I basically went up to him one time and I was like, "Hey, I've got this idea that I want to pitch to you. It's a video in which I'm doing an impression of you, and then you walk in the background and you walk up and you're like, oh, I'm Ian McKellen, and I don't recognize you, and then I usher you out." And he was like, "Okay, well, where can I find your impression?" And I gave him the link, and he went away, and I went back to the theatre the next day, and he came out stage door and he's signing these autographs, and he looked at me and he went, "You naughty boy." And he was like,
God.
he was like, "Well, I went onto YouTube. I went on solely to watch, and I wasted my whole evening." And he was like, "Let's do it." So there's this video where he walks into the background, and I'm talking about the play that he's doing down in Chichester. Oh my God. And then he comes in and he's like, "Hello, I'm Syrian." And I basically turn around and go, "Oh, well, you've got the look down, but you need to work on the voice," sort of thing. He's like, he goes, "Ian McKellen." He goes, "You shall not pass." And I'm like, yeah, can we just, and I get a friend to come in with a long black coat who sort of ushers him off. And he's like, "If I were to work on it, could I come back?" And I'm like, maybe we'll see. And then he gets ushered off screen. And then I looked on the camera and I was like, amateurs. He's such a good sport. He's such a good sport.
That might be my favourite Access podcast moment ever. That it's almost brought me to tears.
Yeah,
That's wonderful.
I could see in your eyes that you've been taken to a different void.
Thank you for that, Alex. That was
My
a
pleasure.
special moment.
Is that
My
the whole reason
pleasure.
why you wanted this quiz? Just you
for
were like,
that
"Oh,
moment.
Rosie, we're going to do a quiz." And then
that.
you were like,
We've still
Yeah.
got two more to
Okay.
go.
okay.
It's time to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of gum. It's time to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of gum.
That's Duke Nukem, and
Yes.
that's Alan Rickman.
Yes, Rosie.
Well done.
That's top marks all round.
Is that an ancient Tibetan ritual dagger in your pocket? Or are you just happy to see me?
Young Skywalker. That is. I love how this one's not even an actor. This is a character. This is General Palpatine. No, your Palpatine.
Emperor.
That's why I'm going to get everyone to be like, "General? What do you mean, General?" Emperor Palpatine, and that is Uncharted.
Yeah.
That's great. Applause
Well
all
done.
round.
That was fantastic.
That was very good. Very good.
Fantastic.
Good score.
Oh.
Good score.
Good score.
Good score.
Very good. Oh, Alex, thank you so much for that.
Hey, that was fun. I enjoyed that.
Sorry, I
made
couldn't
me
look
laugh.
at you. Sorry, I couldn't look at you whilst
No,
I
it
was
makes
like-
sense. It makes sense.
I have to hear the voice in the line.
Wow. Right, that's that bit done. I don't know how we continue this podcast from here because it's not going to get better than that. I think you've answered that question already. I had a question about the differences between working in a voice booth and working doing performance capture. I think you might have already answered this as well, but I'm going to ask you: is there a particular scene that you've been in, or a particular day in the voice booth or on the performance capture stage that sticks in your mind as being particularly memorable or challenging? You've already described to us a very challenging day that you've had. I wonder if there's anything else, maybe if we put a more positive spin on it. Is there something, a day or a scene that you remember that you're like, "Oh man, I nailed that. That was amazing."
1,000,000%. Okay, I've got a few. So, first of all, the first day on the altars, and just kind of going, right, we begin this challenge because I got the job. And when you audition for the job, you go in and you're thinking, I'm the right person for this. I am the guy to do the job. I am here. this is why they should hire me. Because you have to. Because if you don't, you're not going to get the job.
Yeah.
You have to believe in yourself in order for other people to believe in you. But once you get the job, that's when the doubt and the insecurity starts creeping in, because you start going, they've given me the responsibility and the privilege. Now I have to deliver. So the first day in the booth on the altars is always memorable for me, because it was that feeling of, we're here, we're doing this. I am so lucky to get to be the person who undertakes this huge task and challenge. But also the fear and the dread and the feeling of, I know the two other people that were down to the last three. I know them. I'm very expressive. I know them personally. And so then I had the weight of going, if I don't deliver on this, I've let them down, because they might have been right for it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had that. The last day of the altars, because my God, what a feeling of doing like 18,000 lines in a game and, 420 plus hours in the booth. So those two felt special for the significance of what it felt like I was doing on a technical level. The first day on Cyberpunk, because I was a Cyberpunk fan before I was cast in it, because Mr. Hands underwent a change from the base game into the expansion. Expansion, not DLC, is an expansion of the game. So that was a unique experience, because I had never done something before where I was a fan of the game and then in the game, right? I'd had it before where I spent so many hours playing Creative Assembly Total War games. So many hours. To this day, Total War Warhammer 3 is my most played with 1,300 hours. Like, I love the Creative Assembly games. So then I was put in the in the Troy game, and which then became for Troy and Pharaoh. That's cool because it's working with the studio and the developers that I've played their games and I love their games. But the game itself, to be put into it, was a totally unique experience. And I auditioned for it, and they were like, we're not going to tell you the game. We're not allowed to. NDAs. And I get the script for the audition, and it's got Choom written in it. And I go, oh, I wonder what this could be. So I knew full well what I was auditioning for. So when I got the role and I went in for the first day, that one was a really cool one, because I was like, I am going to get to be part of this amazing game that I love already.
Yeah.
I didn't know at the time, like, how big a role Mr. Hands would be. And then I sort of, as we were doing it and we were recording it, I kind of came to understand and realize he's a big old part of the expansion. Like he's, it's like, you've got Idris, you've got like, you've got Reed and So Me, and then you've got like Mr. Hands. Do you know what I mean? In terms of like the function and the role they have in that expansion, along with like Myers and like, so that was really, really cool. That was amazing.
When you saw like the Choom line, did you have to pretend that you still didn't know? Were you
No, I sent that was sent off. I never did it in my auditions were never in the room for that.
Okay.
They were on a file that I recorded and sent off. So I was able to play it super cool because it's just my file.
I don't know what you're talking
about. But obviously I'm there going, oh my God. So those ones were really, really cool. And then I've recently had something that I can't talk about, which is just like, it's the feeling of, oh my God, I'm the person that gets to do this. Like, is unbelievably cool. And I think one day I could look back on and go, holy crap, is that the coolest moment in my career?
Wow. I think, when you are allowed to talk about it, you'll have to come back on here, please. And
whole
a million
podcast
minutes.
dedicated to
Yeah.
this.
Trust me, yes.
That
Yes.
was going to be very. I'm looking forward to that already. Can we talk about Dragon Age: The Veilguard briefly as well? This is, I'm guessing, quite a unique challenge as an actor. You're playing Rook, but not everybody's Rook. Everybody's Rook looks different. Everybody's Rook acts different. You get to build your own character in this game. So, what's that like as an actor to try and have to embody a character who can be wildly different for whoever plays it?
100%. This is really weird and it's really, really cool. Because not only am I having to give a performance that I'm sharing with other people, but for a lot of the hard time scenes, a lot of like the cut scenes and sort of little moments that happen within a scene where it's dictated by the motion capture and performance capture that was done on the day by Jeff. There were 4 of us who play this role. There's Jeff, who is the original Rook, brought in. The very first person they cast to play the role was brought in. Then Erika Ishii, who Erika and I shared this role and are now both nominated this year for Golden Joystick.
That's amazing.
So Erika and I have been
Yeah.
texting and being like, right, when Erika's over, I've got all these things lined up and I'm going to take them to here and there. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't wait. That's really cool. And then Bryony and I were brought in quite a bit further down the line. So a lot of the hard time scenes, we had to deliver our performances exactly to the rhythm and the cadence that Jeff did on the day in the motion capture and performance capture in the volume. An American cadence and rhythm is different to a British cadence and rhythm. So it was an unbelievable challenge to, first of all, deliver a performance that felt like it still worked in a British accent to an American cadence and rhythm, but also still felt like it was the Rook that each of us had developed and were performing, because they were very clear. They went, right, we don't want you to just come in and just say the lines. We want each Rook to feel different, to feel like their own unique personality and unique character. So I think we did that. We kind of, you play with each of our characters and they feel unique and they feel distinct and they feel separate from one another. But it was unbelievably challenging on those hard time scenes to make sure that you still delivered the character you wanted to someone else's performance. Mm-hmm. That was wildly hard. I think as well, there is something that you have to come to understand and let go with that, which is when the game comes out, I love interacting with the community. Mm-hmm. And often I have moments and then it's like, there'll be people out there who I chat to about the game and it's so wild because they've played the character that I played, but not me. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
weird and that's wild. And so their experience of it will be different from what I understand the game to be. But it's cool, man. We have a WhatsApp group called the Rookery, which has all 4 of us
Nice.
on. And I organized it so that just before the game came out at Summer Game Fest, I got us all together with John and Corinne, who was producer and director. And we all went out for dinner in LA. And I convinced Bryony to set up other meetings and stuff out in LA because she was like, it's expensive. And I was like, well, then what you have to do is you have to go out of your way now to create other work opportunities from it to make it a justifiable business expense. So I was like, go out there, set up meetings with other studios, agents, whatever it is, and the whole trip now becomes a work trip. Yeah. And therefore it's justified because I was like, we can't do this where it's just me, Erika, and Jeff, and not Bryony there. Do you know what I mean? It was like we had to all be there or it would feel wrong.
Yes.
And that was a really cool, nice thing. And I will say this, Jeff is a hero. Erika as well, but like Jeff was brought in to play Rook. Then Erika was brought in, then Bryony and myself. And at no point has Jeff ever had the vibe of like going, this is my character that I'm now splitting with people. He's always just been like, this is great. More people, let's share the role, let's share the love. And I have so much respect for that guy. He is just an actor who just wants to do the work and have fun doing it. And he's a really cool guy. And I want him to get all the opportunities and so much more because he's fantastic.
What a very heartwarming, wholesome story that
Well
is.
done, Jeff.
I
Well
think-
done,
Well
everyone.
done, Jeff Berg.
Well
But
done to all
I think
the
your
Rooks.
work on Dragon Age was amazing.
Oh, thank
Alex,
you.
really, really enjoyed that performance
Thank
a
you.
lot. Another role that you've had that I saw on your CV
Oh, God.
whilst
Sounds like a business meeting.
whilst researching you, I'm very keen to ask you about. So,
Can I ask, are there any dice rolls involved?
possibly,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So this was Alex's role in Baldur's Gate 3, and the role Alex has, as written down officially on Alex's Wikipedia page, is sex noises.
Did you do
Sex
those?
noises, Baldur's Gate 3. I'm not going to say anything else, Alex. Explain what that is, please.
Listen, okay. So, first of all, I'm firmly of the opinion that when it comes to video games, when it comes to performances in gaming, it's so interesting. Because when you start to do a certain level or role, sort of you start doing leads, your agent and generally the industry goes, right, well, you can't go back down, right? And do that, like you can't go back down to doing sort of bit parts, right? But in video games, it's very much like I'm of the opinion that I don't care. I'll do the work. There's no role too small for me personally. I just love doing the work. I love playing some random NPCs that you just sort of like walk past and they say a few lines. I love it. It's part of the joy of the job. So this producer messaged me not long before the release of Baldur's Gate 3 and was like, do you want to be in Baldur's Gate 3? And I said, hell yes. But hold on, the game comes out very soon. So what the hell? Like, there's no way. This is wildly close to the release of the game. And you got to be careful when using the word release in this context. This is wildly close. Wildly close to release. What is this? And then she messaged me and she went, I've just sent you the email. I'm so sorry. And I opened the email and I was coming out of one job and I was walking along. Weirdly, I was in Reading. It was like I went to Reading to record for one day. And I was walking through Reading. I looked down my phone and the script was there. And when I say script, that's very generous because there were no lines. It was literally just like open mouth moan of pleasure 1, open mouth moan of pleasure 2, closed mouth pleasure. Do you know what I mean? Like that. So I replied going, oh God. And then in all capitals, oh God. And her reply was, I'm sorry, I thought this would be normal. So I went into the booth and I was asked to watch some clips and basically make the noises. And I was in the booth and I had to kiss the back of my hand. I had to moan, I had to breathe, I had to pant, I had to sigh. I had to make all these little noises, right? And then they went, cool. All of these noises can kind of work for every male role. Like a moan of is applicable for Halcyon, is applicable for Gale, for Will. Do you know what I mean? It works. They went, but there is one character who has a very distinct sound to their voice, and it was Neil. And they basically went, you have to now listen to this voice, to Neil doing Astarion, and you have to think what that voice would sound like making these noises. So I had to go back through and do specific sounds for what I thought Neil's Astarion would sound like in those moments. And since then, I have had to look him in the eyes and,
This is amazing.
knowing in my head that I had to go to that place.
You're a Neil newborn sex voice.
Does he know? Does he know that you've done those?
Oh,
as well?
he knows, yeah. And I think I was
Okay.
in one time with a director, a lovely director called Adrian, who said, I was in with Neil and we were talking about this, and he said to me, he would have done the noises if they'd asked him.
This was going to be my next
Yeah,
question.
why?
Why?
Yeah,
Why?
why?
I don't know.
Did they realise too late in production? Oh, no.
I don't know. I guess like they're so focused in the moment on all the actual like the meaty parts of like the character and the scenes and everything going on that kind of gets forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
Because in those moments, a lot of that is happening over with the animators. And then they, it's not kind of in the scenes. So then I think they got to right near the end. They were like, oh my God, we have to, But they're also then bringing in the actors to do pickups on as much as they can. There's that unfortunate crunch time before any game comes out. And I think they just kind of, I don't know if they didn't feel like they could ask the actors because they were already asking them to do other stuff. Like, I don't know. I have no idea what the answer is. But I did get to finally in person meet Sven recently. And Sven and I were chatting for a while, and at the end he was like, can I get a photo with you? And I was like, I want to get a photo with you.
This is great.
Yeah, it's hilarious. And then when I was announced, when the whole cast of Veilguard was announced, the title that Eurogamer ran with was Baldur's Gate 3 Sex Noise Specialist Leads the Way for Dragon Age.
Oh my
Amazing.
God.
But this is the thing, like no job. I am in doing NPCs, like grunts that you kill, just random throwaway things. I was in yesterday, 2 different games, just random little NPC things. And I will continue to do that until the day the industry finally decides they don't want me anymore, like that I'm overexposed and whatever, they've like used me enough and they're like, yeah, he's done enough. But like I will continue to do that work because I don't think I don't think I will ever not enjoy just being in the booth and doing the work, no matter what size the role is. It's always going to be fun.
Sounds like it's playtime for you,
Yeah,
right?
100%. Also, the challenge of just going like, right, I'm in doing 13 NPCs on this game. How can I make them sound wildly different from one another? It's fun. They just give me a random thing. I was in yesterday on one game, and I've got this fun little character who's this NPC who just sort of, can pop up here and there. They've just got like this very sort of, innocent demeanor about them, and they just let me improv stuff. I'm going, that's not work.
I'm just chatting in a room.
Yeah, like it's honestly, I'm so lucky to do the job that I get to do. And so when people just want me to come in and do little NPC characters, I'm like, that's a treat. Yeah.
I think that's a very healthy way of looking at it. And I have distinct memories of, I think it obviously post Uncharted, but playing one of the Batman Arkham games and definitely punching someone voiced by Nolan North, like a thug voiced by Nolan North.
I mean,
and just like, oh my God, that's Nolan North voicing
Witcher
this.
3. Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Ralph Ineson basically plays everyone in the game. Like and here's the thing, his voice is so distinct,
Yes.
so unbelievably distinct that you go, maybe you should have found like, hey, Lord bless Ralph Ineson and his amazing vocal folds, and I'm happy he was in the booth for so many hours and he got that dollar, but maybe the man with the most distinct voice in the universe shouldn't play almost every NPC in this.
It's only a kind of step down from Arnold Schwarzenegger playing every NPC, right?
He was literally just going, oh my God, everyone in this world has incredible voice. The same incredible voice. I love you, CD Projekt Red. Please keep employing me.
We have spoken for a long time, but before we wrap up, I have to ask you about Natural Six as well.
Ta-da! Oh, get everyone in
right
the
there.
camera. This camera right here. Look at
Little
that
bit of
lovely,
merch right
lovely
there.
bit of
Very
merch.
cool.
Yeah.
Obviously, former PlayStation Access host Holly Bennett, friend of the channel Ben Starr. What an amazing endeavor! Like,
Yeah.
I have multiple questions to ask you about it, but I guess I'm just gonna. How did it come about, and what has it been like, this journey that you've been on so far?
So Ben and I were sat in the waiting room at Side, which is an outsourced recording studio, where I think he was probably in on 16 maybe at the time, and I might have been in on Dragon Age actually, or something. I don't know. We were in on two different games, and we were waiting in the reception room. And I had got through the pandemic by watching actual plays of Dungeons and Dragons. And I then managed to get a home party together. We played a couple of sessions, and then our DM moved to Australia. And I was like, man, I just managed to get together an adventuring party. This sucks. And literally the next day, after my friend moved, Ben and I were sat in this waiting room, and I was having a chat with him, and then I just went, mate, I feel like you would be someone that would be keen to play some Dungeons and Dragons. And he went, I have been waiting to find an adventuring party. I've been waiting. I wanted to do this for so long. I was like, this is amazing. And then I remembered, I was having a chat with Doug like last week or 2 weeks ago. And I talked about how I'd been watching loads of Dungeons and Dragons. And he said that he played like 2nd edition many years ago. Maybe I could speak to Doug. Would you want to play with Doug? And Ben was like, yeah. And he was like, well, let's meet up for coffee next week, and we'll talk about, like, do we want to try and get together a little adventuring party? We went for coffee, and then we kind of agreed. We were like, it's hard to make new friends in your 30s, and this is cool, and we could find people that we know, but why don't we try and get together a bunch of people that we are familiar with, but we don't know, to come together and do this? And we'll just have a fun home game that we can do, and we'll just make some new friends. I'm like, that's great, cool. So we did that, set about, and I will be honest with you, I went and spoke to Doug, and then Ben came back and he was like, right, I've got Holly, I've got Aoife, and I've got Harry. And I was like, oh, wow, you've done way more than I have. Like we sat down at this pub, the George Inn, which is right by London Bridge, an amazing pub. If you're ever visiting London, go to it. It's like proper, like I think 1400s, sort of, thin little alleyway,
Nice.
little courtyard area. Incredible. Still basically exactly how it was back then. And Harry wasn't drinking. Doug wasn't able to make it. And then Ben, Holly, Aoife, and myself polished off, I think it was like 6 bottles of rosé.
Nice.
And by the end of it, when Harry was showing us the map he created and the world he'd come up with, we all sat there and we were like, should we just film this and put it out? Like, people already do this and it's fun and it's cool. And the world you've made is really, really cool. Should we try and do that? And everyone was like, hell yeah. So we went away. We put a plan together. We went to Double Jump, incredible production studio. We went to Double Jump and we filmed a session 0 and rolling our characters and all that stuff. And they went, right, we'll leave it up to the Kickstarter. We'll leave it up to the community and see if they want to make this happen. And we went, right, we need 50,000, I think it was, or like 40,000, like for 10 episodes. Because we are going full high scale on this. We are doing minis and we are doing set pieces and we are doing high production. We are talking studio lights, camera, mic, editors, director, all that stuff. We wanted to go in and go, if we're going to do this properly, we need to come in at a standard that is like, this is, you've got Critical Role and Dimension 20. And we're going, we want to deliver something where we can go, yeah, we feel proud to kind of like be doing this and, you know, why would you come and watch us if you got these other amazing things? At least we can do something, Oxventure, like unbelievable, incredible like people out there. So we went for it. We met our target. We exceeded our target. We funded our first 10 episodes. And then we basically just started taking ad revenue, some, sort of, because YouTube does not pay in the way it used to. There was once upon a time that the amount you get on YouTube would kind of maybe keep the show going. It doesn't. Patreon is what we need to keep the show running because it's an expensive cost. We're now 2 years on, over 2 years from when we first, sat down and were like, we'll do this. I think we've been going for about 1.5 years now on YouTube in terms of like the episodes going out. And it's the most awesome thing. To this day, we've not seen any money from it. It's just a pure passion project. We are basically getting to the point where we're hoping to be self-sustaining from Patreon. At the moment, we are self-sustaining from Patreon and from ad revenue, but that relies on ad revenue, like ad sponsorship deals definitely coming in. You just never know when those are going to come in. So at the moment, our sole focus is just stay afloat and keep having fun. Because ultimately, that's what it is. It's pure, like right now for us, it's 2 years of work, but purely for the fun of it and the love of it. And
you can really hear it and feel it, I think, in the episodes.
And
that you're all just having like a whale of a time.
That's exactly what we hope. You want people to see how much fun we have as a group of friends, because this is the other thing. We have said many times, we have no right to have the level of friendship and chemistry that we do, because we wanted to bring together, Ben and I were mates and Doug and I were mates, and like we wanted to bring together a group of people for a home game. We just happened to all be on the same wavelength and click. And that's so lucky to be here 2 years later going, I love this group. They're amazing. And they're some of my dearest friends, like we could have had 2 or 3 personalities in there that clashed, but we just don't. And it's wonderful.
There is a nice sort of Holly has mentioned the same thing to me when I've spoken to her about it, saying like, I can't believe I've been able to find at this stage of my life like a new group of friends. Like what an amazing thing you've built together.
Yeah, and I mean,
long may it continue.
Really, really, we want this to just keep going and going and going. And from this experience and from, first of all, you spend your whole life as an actor waiting for other people to give you creative opportunities, right? And you often audition for something and you go, my God, I want to be creatively involved in this. And then it never happens. And that's such a deflating moment.
Yeah.
To get to create something where I'm going, I am the writer, the editor, and the director of my character. And I'm the performer.
Yeah.
That's like wild, and it's so cool, and I love it so much, and it feels so creatively fulfilling that those moments now when I get the no's don't hurt so much, because I'm feeling creatively fulfilled every single day because of this thing that we've created. And there's all the stuff, the merch stuff that goes into it. And we're designing, creating merch and coming up with ideas. And there's all these other creative things that happen around it, which feels really satisfying.
That is amazing to hear. Alex, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you.
Hey, thank you. It's been a pleasure being here.
Massively enjoyed having you on the PlayStation Access podcast. Your Ian McKellen story will live long in my heart.
I'll see if I can.
I'd love to see that video.
Yeah.
I would love to see that
I would
video.
love that. My heart's just feeling warm hearing you talk about natural sinks. Like literally, that's why I'm just sat here with a smile. I'm just like, this is just nice. I just have nothing to add. It's just lovely. I love it.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Alex.
Thank you for having me. Really.
Please do let us know in the comments if you have any questions or comments for Alex if you're watching this on YouTube. Otherwise, we will be back in 2 weeks' time for the next episode of the PlayStation Access podcast. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye.
PlayStation